Hey, welcome back to the Follow Up Media podcast. This is a episode 4 actually and normally we don't call and number our episodes, but this is part of a 15 episode series called The Uncomfortable Truths in Marketing. And today's episode is called If You Don't Control the Narrative, the Algorithm Will. And I will explain that. So, if you're not actively telling your story, someone else is. And in 2026, which is what we're moving into, we're about what, 3 days before the first of the year?
Mhm.
The algorithm will tell your story. It decides what people are going to see, it decides what they don't, and how they're framed, and how you're remembered, and whether you matter at all, right? So, this episode is about control or the lack thereof it. Okay. And my name is Christian Lee. Um, we are touching on this series in a big way because we want to help with industry, with small, medium, and enterprise level businesses, and that is the goal of this series. Is we want you to understand the value in everything that we're saying and the action behind these initiatives, but also to position yourself for the future. And if you don't embrace some sort of content initiative, ecosystem, media hub framework, you're going to be really left behind. And as I said, my name's Christian Lee, and my co-host this week, it sounds like it's comes with a leather jacket and a questionable IMDb page. It's Chaz Meatcastle.
Meat Castle?
Chaz
Chaz.
Meatcastle.
With two
Mm.
Z's.
Yes, 2 Z's.
Love it.
Chaz Meatcastle.
I'd get down with that.
Yeah. Chaz Meatcastle, everybody.
All right, thank
Let
you.
that soak in.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, Chaz, how was your Christmas?
It was great. Yeah, no, it was great. I stayed in town for once. I always went out to North Carolina or Pennsylvania since I was probably born. This is like the first year I've been around, and I actually do like it now that I'm older, being able to just chill and I have 19,000 kids running around and stuff like that. So
You're not one of the 19,000 kids.
no,
Chaz Meatcastle, everybody.
no, I'm old and mature.
Yep.
But yeah,
So-
no, how was your Christmas?
It was good, man. We had my brother in town from Australia. My brother lives in Melbourne, and he didn't come with his kids, but every time he comes in town, stays at my house, but everyone converges on my house, and it's a lot.
Yeah,
Love him to death. The kids love him, but it's a lot, and I'm ready for no one to come over ever again.
I'm sure your wife is as well.
Yes, and then me having to hear about everything
Yeah.
is a full-time job.
Mhm.
Anyway, so here we go. This is what we're talking about. So if you don't control the narrative, the algorithm will. So in part 1, the illusion of control. And I love this because this equates to daily life, whether you work for somebody or you own your own business or you're a independent, contractor. There is no such thing as control. That's all an illusion.
Yeah.
You might think you have security, but you're only as secure as the universe allows you to be, because the second you think, oh, I've got everything in place, you die, or your business goes under, or something comes out of the woodwork that basically weakens your control in every way. And so most brands think they control their narrative.
Mhm.
They have a website, they have an about page, they have a mission statement, they have brand guidelines, and they're buried in a Google Drive folder. And guess what? Nobody opens it,
No.
right? Do you have that? Or maybe you don't even have brand guidelines. And yet none of that actually controls perception, right? Because perception doesn't live on your website. It lives in feeds. It lives in search results, and it's in suggested videos, right? Because if YouTube isn't suggesting your videos, then there's a good chance nobody is seeing it.
Very true.
And in AI summaries now, which is huge, because if you're in a business, you have a website, and you're not positioning yourself to show up in AI search results, whether it be Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, any of them.
Yeah.
There's a bunch now. You're going to get left behind. And if you're not shaping those spaces, every one of them, the algorithm will fill in the blanks for you. And that's not really what you want. And what the algorithm actually does, and it's not evil, it's not personal, it doesn't care about your intent, it cares about signals. What signals are happening? What gets clicked? What gets watched? What gets shared? What gets repeated? And what gets ignored? And if the algorithm sees your content as being ignored, guess what? It isn't going to show it.
Exactly.
And then it builds a story about you based on that data. It builds your own story, whether you like it or not. So, what story is it building? If you post inconsistently, your story becomes not relevant. If you post randomly, then your story becomes not authority, no authority, right? And if you never explain what you do clearly, the story becomes damn right confusing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so once that story is formed, it spreads faster than you could even do it manually, which is really a lot to think about.
Mhm.
But that's how these algorithm works, right? Same with the TikTok scroll. It's like what you stop and watch. Even if you don't have your eyes on it,
True.
it's going to feed you more of that,
Exactly.
what it thinks you watched. Silence is still a story. If you think, well, oh, I'm not posting shit. Well, guess what? That silence is still a story.
Yeah.
And so the uncomfortable truth is that most brands miss that silence isn't neutral. You might think, well, we're good because we're not doing anything. But if you don't tell your story consistently, the absence becomes the narrative. They must not be growing. They must not be busy. They must not be leaders,
Mhm.
right? They must not be relevant anymore.
Exactly.
You do not get the benefit of the doubt in the attention economy. You get replaced. And the algorithm is more than happy to help.
Yeah.
You know, how brands lose the narrative without realizing it? Well, they let random content define them.
Yeah. It's just like a kid, like you get rewarded for good behavior. So you be on all the guidelines and you're meeting those goals, it's gonna reward you.
Yeah. But letting random content define you, off brand post, rushed video, one poorly explained idea, that's
Mhm.
all it takes. And without the repetition, the algorithm's just going to grab the loudest signal, not the best one. In our previous episode, we talked about, why some of your competitors are not necessarily smarter than you. They're not better than you, but they're louder than you.
Mhm. More
They're more
consistent.
consistent. They're claiming their share of the industry's voice.
Mhm.
And here's another mistake, explaining yourself once and assuming it sticks. And I've said this a few times on this show. You can say it 1,000 times. You've said it 1,000 times. And it's the first time I actually heard you. So
True.
you might say the same thing 1,000 times, but it's the first time somebody is actually paying attention and hearing you. So you can't assume that you said it once and it's going to stick. There's a reason why, if it's podcast or content, just because you're the CEO of a company, that doesn't mean anybody knows you.
Yeah.
They don't know your story. So every time you do get on a video, it's probably good to build a little bit of credibility and explain a little bit about your story. Be egotistical and,
Yeah.
like, let me tell you all about me. But no, give a quick rundown of who you are.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Why you're doing what you're doing and why you're qualified. That's important, right?
Yeah.
So brands explain what they do one time and then move on. But the market didn't hear you, as I just mentioned. The algorithm didn't register you, and the audience definitely didn't remember you,
Mhm.
right? You need to continue to reinstall or re-embed the content,
Right.
your authority. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Narratives are built through repetition, not announcements. It doesn't need to
Yeah.
be in just a one announcement. Hey, you heard my announcement. I'm
Exactly.
pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
So with the New Year's coming up, I know always like around this time because I go to the gym a good bit. I always hate January, February,
Yeah.
March because you got hundreds of people. I'm this new year, new me. I got this. But they always start weeding out when it comes to the April, the May, the June, and I'm thinking to myself, That's the same thing as like a business owner.
1000%.
So they start off strong and they think that, oh my God, it's going to happen overnight. But the ones that stay consistent throughout the year are going to be the ones with the best results in the, I guess, best.
Yeah. If you think that, like, if you picture it like we're in a matrix, right?
Yeah.
It's like once you get into that just non-unwavering routine, waking up, going to the gym, working out, and, feeling good, health, whatever it is, would be like the equivalent of content. The algorithm takes over.
Yeah.
It's like, what do they say? It takes 21 days to break or make a habit,
Yeah. Yeah.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the same thing,
Yeah.
but the reward on the fitness side is that you get in better shape, you look better, you feel better.
Yeah.
Same thing if you apply content to it,
100%.
the algorithm, which I guess would be the equivalent to the habit,
Mhm.
will start to show your content, start to compound your impact. And now you've built the habit of creating content that's working for you while you're sleeping.
Yep.
That's a great analogy, Chaz Meatcastle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please take Chaz Meatcastle's advice.
Yeah.
Go to the gym
Mm-hmm.
so you can be people watched.
Exactly. If you're on a podcast and you're all looking all crazy.
Yeah. Mr. Meatcastle in the house. And another mistake, what we always see is they only show up when you have something to sell, right? The new product launch, new book, new this, but that's the only time they hear from you. Like they
True.
expect, hey, we've got this new thing. Well, then they look back and they go, well, no one really engaged with that. Well, because no one cares and no one saw it,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a big one because if your brand only speaks when it wants something, the narrative becomes transactional, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I'm doing this because I want this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to educate my audience or my clientele to become better, to enhance themselves better, to better position themselves. I just want them to buy my damn product.
True.
And no one gives a shit at all.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why you give away your expertise. And, we're giving away this content in order to try to make people who are listening, who might listen to this podcast or this content better,
Yeah.
to maybe open their eyes. Now, granted, there is some transactional shit we can sell you to help whatever services you need. But ultimately, you don't have to call, sign up, or do anything
Mm-hmm.
in order to benefit from any of the things we might be saying or any of the topics we might be weighing in on, right? So there again, if your brand only speaks when it wants something, the narrative becomes transactional. You're not a leader. You're not a resource. You're an interruption.
Yeah. Literally.
Exactly. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Right? And then why the loudest story always wins? The algorithm, unfortunately, doesn't rank truth. It ranks clarity. It doesn't prioritize expertise. It prioritizes consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency. It doesn't care if your message is perfect. It cares if it's repeated.
Yeah.
This is why mediocre brands with clear messaging outperform brilliant brands with none. Your message might not be as clean, it might not be as polished, but if it's clear and it's consistent, it will outperform the brilliant brands with a lot more money every time.
Yeah.
Clarity beats complexity, repetition beats perfection, and presence beats potential. You might say, oh, we've got a lot of potential. I'm sure you do, but
Yeah.
with no action
Just, yeah.
and no presence, you're shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
100%.
It doesn't mean you're always going to be shit. It just means you're shit right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
In the world of the attention economy, that is.
Yeah.
And the narrative framework. And this is how you're going to be able to take control back, okay? If you want to control your narrative, you're going to need 5 things. A clear point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why, these talk shows, if you have a strong opinion, whether it pisses people off or whether it rallies people, it gains an audience. Love you or hate you,
Yeah.
right? A clear point of view. What do you believe that others won't say? If your brand stands for everything, it stands for nothing. And thought leadership, in all honesty, reflects friction, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be a thought leader in politics? Lean one way, left or right, and guarantee you'll piss off one side and gain
Yeah.
support on another. But it's friction. Stephen A. Smith, is a great example.
He's loud.
He's loud,
Yeah.
but he's got a opinion, and it normally ruffles feathers.
Yeah. He's got a very strong opinion, a loud voice, and like
Have a
it
fucking
notices.
opinion. If you're in the middle and you're not leaning one way or another on a topic, well, no one's going to give a shit. Your opinion doesn't matter.
And and he's entertaining too. So he's gonna get that side. It's not like politics, like one or the other. It's
Chaz Meatcastle loves Stephen A. Smith.
Nah, I respect him. I respect him.
You love him.
Yeah,
You can.
I love that huge forehead.
You want him to have a big meat castle. You want him to have a meat castle moment. The meat castle moment with Chaz Meat Castle. The next is a repeatable message. Okay. So, of the 5 things, that if you want to take control back, your core message should not feel boring to you before it ever feels familiar to the market.
Yeah.
Okay. So, your core message should feel boring to you before it ever feels familiar to the market. That's important. If you're tired of saying it, you're finally doing it right.
Yeah.
If you are tired of introducing yourself on your content, then you're doing it right.
Yeah.
If you said, damn, I've said this 1,000 times, you're doing it right. Do it again. Do it 1,001. Don't stop. And then the third thing you're going to need is a long form anchor. Podcasts, YouTube, long form conversations. This is where context lives, okay? This is where nuance lives. And this is where your authority is built. It's not built through a 20-second message. Now, you might have a bunch of 20-second clips, but it's from a long form anchor where everything is anchored back to the longer form content.
Yeah.
To that interview you did with a billionaire CEO or a crack smoking, failure story.
Yeah.
How did you go from billionaire to crackhead and losing everything? Well, that'd be a good story. It's a long form anchor, right? This is where the authority is built. And the fourth thing you're going to need to take the control back is strategic short form amplification. Kind of what I just touched on. You need the long form anchor.
Yeah.
The short form doesn't replace long form. It introduces it. Clips control discovery, right? Long form controls narrative. Super simple. You use the short form everywhere on all socials, YouTube shorts. It becomes an anchor that brings you to the long form content. And then the fifth thing that you need is what we've been talking about is a weekly cadence. Cadence tells the algorithm, we're here, use me over the other 10,000 assholes. Cadence tells the audience, you can trust us because we're here every week at the same damn time, delivering content that you hopefully can take with you and apply or use in your daily lives. Or call Follow Up Media to help because you need assistance in one of your marketing initiatives. Doesn't matter what it is. And Cadence tells your competitors, fuck you. Good luck keeping up.
True.
You can quote me on that, bitch. And then we've got the AI factor. The future is already here. I got to tell you, I mean, the way people are going on their own individual buyer journey to seeking out information or seeking out companies to use or to pay for services. Yes, people still use Google, but people are now embracing AI as a form of delivering what results come with their questions or prompts.
Or to even be able to pass college.
Yeah, I know. Do you imagine if we had AI when we were kids? God, that would have been amazing. I would have been a straight A. I would have been on the honor roll. I would have been on the
My
dean's
essays
list.
would have been insane.
Yeah, they were
Poetry.
Yes. Yeah, just soliloquies of just poetic justice.
Exactly.
So here's what most brands haven't realized yet. AI doesn't discover you, it categorizes you. It looks at everything you've said, everything you've published, and everything that people have said about you. That's important. And then it decides how to summarize you for the next customer. If your content is inconsistent, vague, or absent, AI will fill in those gaps. And I don't think you want AI filling in the gaps. That's not the future. This is happening right now. At the end of 2025, going into 2026, this should be an initiative every brand, every company, small, medium, or enterprise level should be focused on. I'm going to tell you that right now because if you go back to my vault of things that you heard and you should have acted on, this would be one of them. Because it's happening right under your feet, right under your nose. You know it's happening, and that's what's crazy is that you're not taking the steps to establish your foundation for the future.
Mhm.
And this is where follow-up media comes in. We help build narrative machines, okay? We don't post content, we design narrative systems, okay? We decide what the market should associate with you, and then we repeat it until it sticks. It's really not rocket science.
No.
We want to help our brand, Follow Up Media, and the brands that we are employed to assist have their content stick. We control the tone, we control the cadence, we control the message hierarchy, we control the distribution. So the algorithm doesn't get creative with your reputation. The reputation we are going to build through consistent,
Mhm.
authoritative, strategic, ongoing content that establishes you as a leader, as an armchair expert, and as an authority in your space, in your industry. And we are going to claim your share of voice. So the algorithm places you properly where it should. And
Yeah.
the algorithm won't fill in the gaps because we filled it in already for you.
Right.
We've helped you consistently create content that will help the algorithm suggest your content. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So in closing, the uncomfortable truth in this week's marketing episode is if you don't control the narrative in 2026, the algorithm will. And it probably won't be kind. It won't be nuanced. And it won't wait for you to catch up. But here's the good news. The moment you take control, the moment you show up with clarity, repetition, and intent, everything will change. In 2026, everything will change and can change for your brand, for your company, and your lives.
Mhm.
If you don't give a fuck, well, the algorithm doesn't either. And
Yeah.
if you don't give a shit about your future, guess what? Your customers don't either,
Exactly.
right? You have to show up. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to go on camera and I don't want to create content, well, guess what? No one does.
Mm-mm.
No one does. No one wants to sit down and do what I'm doing right now. Chaz Meatcastle didn't want to take off his leather coat and show up today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On his rice rocket.
Right. But no, with the New Year's right around the corner, about to be 2026, if you're a business owner listening, if you want to take your business to the next level in 2026, then you better put follow-up meeting on your New Year's resolution list. Because
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Mr. Meatcastle.
thank you.
Thank you for that, Chaz.
Just put my
You
Chaz,
sound like a real douchebag, by the way. Yeah.
just put my Chaz everywhere.
Yeah. We're spreading his Chaz everywhere. This is an uncomfortable truth in marketing. It's probably something you already know, you don't want to hear. But if you do, and take anything from these episodes, this series that we're doing, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to think about, and there's a lot to unpack. And if you want to reach out, you want to ask questions, you want some advice, I'm not saying we know everything. I'm not saying we're God's gift to marketing.
Mhm.
But we know what we know because we have aligned ourselves with the best in the business. We execute for our clients like no other. We put the FU in follow up,
Yep.
and we really do. We don't just follow up, we follow through. Okay. And so we just want to help in any which way. You don't have to use us, but if you want to reach out and engage with us, ask us questions about how we would handle this, offer a free consultation, we will. We'll give you a free audit, an AI audit.
Mhm.
We'll give you a free marketing audit. And you know what? And we can provide you a detailed roadmap going from no content, not being even considered by AI, to having your content work for you while you sleep and establish your brand, get ahead of your competition. And because most of your competition in the industry you're in is probably not embracing what it is we're talking about, that means right now you have even a bigger opportunity to win than you will in 2027. I promise you that.
Definitely.
And I'm not saying in 2027 you can't just go, okay, now I'm ready. I'm just saying it's going to be a slower rollout.
Yeah,
It's going to be a slower ROI and it's going to be a slower impact. And you're probably going to have to work harder.
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you. Like I said, followupmedia.com. And if you have a question for the one and only leather jacketed maniac, Chaz Meatcastle, he'll be hanging around in 2026.
That's exactly right. I'll be here.